Hey, I just want to give a quick testimony. I want to thank everybody for praying for us. Arabella's leg, after a very long deal, got approved. But I wanted to share something because I'm always the person that shares the things that nobody else is going to share. But I know some people might laugh and make fun, and then some people is hanging on their last thread of hope, needing God to show up in a situation in their life. I wish I was pretty, but this is a life of physical therapy. I'm running like a chicken with its head cut off. This is what a mom looks like. But I thank God for all that he's done for us. I thank God for stepping in. And he is an on-time God. Yes, he is. He don't come when I want him. But let me tell you something. He always comes right on time. Right at the end of the line today. Today was the final answer. And let me tell you something. It literally was down to the last hour and the last 30 minutes when I got the phone call of the approval of Arabella's leg. And let me tell you something. He comes right in the nick of time. But that's not really, that's a beautiful testimony, but it's more of where God has brought us in this journey. If you know me and if you've been around me, you know I don't have a problem with faith. I have a lot of faith. I'm crazy enough to believe God at his word. And I've never struggled with my faith. And when I was expecting, my faith had no plan B. But when God put us on this journey, that was when I had to walk into the season of learning how to trust God. And I learned how to trust him. And I learned how to trust his decisions. And I learned how to trust his path. I learned how to trust God's guidance in our life. And I learned to trust him. And I was sitting on my couch about maybe 2 years ago. And I said, God, how am I going to make these visions come to pass? How am I going to, I don't want to sit and wait for you like, oh, bless me, Lord, if you can. What do I have to do on my end in order to make this vision come to pass? How are we, anybody can hit a financial thing, once in their life, but constantly it's like, okay. And I was thinking of those things and I said, God, how are we going to do it? And he said, where there's a vision, I bring provision. I'm not going to give you a vision without provision and favor. I will always provide it, and I will always bless her, and I will foot the bill every single time for whatever she needs, because she's going to do what I called her to do. So I said, okay, God, I'm going to trust you in that. Fast forward to now, we were trying to get her leg. It got disapproved. What does that mean? Denied. Wow, brain fart. It got denied. Obviously, everybody immediately, and it meant the world to me, stepped up and said, my girl, I don't care if you got the money or not. We're all getting together. We're going to help you with the bill. We're going to pay for it. And as people are offering to give me money and send me money and help us pay for this and jump the gun, and God was like, just go do the appeal. I told you I would provide. Don't take a dollar. And I haven't even told my husband this, and I was just like, okay, because I'm not going to lie, when they told me it was denied, I literally felt like my back was against the wall. I felt, I don't know if I would say scared. I was so disappointed. I was really confused of, God, you told me that you was going to provide this. Where is it at? He said, you've already been through faith and you've already been through trust. And now I'm going to learn you to depend on me and only me. Don't take a dollar, because I'm going to do this and you need to depend on me. So naturally, in my head, I'm praying and I'm like, God, why aren't you showing up? Why aren't you approving this leg? Why aren't you approving this leg? If you're going to approve it, just do it. He don't come when you want him. I'm going to tell you that right now. And about 2 weeks ago, I literally, even though we had the provision to give, it's like we couldn't give it. And we just had to wait and wait and wait. And I felt like, I want to say I had an anxiety attack. And I said, God, I feel anxiety about this. I said, why are you making me depend on you like this when I don't have to? And then there was the whole thing. He said, because, and the enemy was even telling the story about, oh, don't be like the person who said, oh, God, help me, help me. And the man came on the boat and said, get on and I'm going to get you out of this flood. And 3 different boats came, and then he said, God, why didn't you save me? And he said, I tried to. I sent boats. So naturally, the enemy used that whisper in my lie, and God was just saying, just depend on me. Just depend on me. Even though you have the provision, just depend on me. I'm going to get it done. But let me tell you something today. And I'm reminded of David when he went before Goliath, and naturally he was supposed to put that armor on, and that armor, I believe, was 125 pounds, and it was too heavy for him because David wasn't a big man. He wasn't a big strap-in big man. He was basically a stream being. He was young and he was skinny, and it said that the armor was too heavy on him. And God told him, he said, don't stand in that. Take it off. Take it off. And you know, the world can offer us help. We can know how to fix our problems. We can even have the provision for it. But God says, hold on, wait. I just want you to depend on me for a minute. Just sit there and wait for a minute. And I want to tell you today, if God is calling you into a season, you've got the faith. You've learned how to trust God, but God has got you in this situation, and it seems like you're up against the wall because you're like, God, I could fix it. I got people to call. I got family members that'll come to my help. I got money in the bank. I could fix this problem. And God is saying, just wait. You got to depend on me. And I want to tell you today, I felt like a fool about a week ago. And I wanted to fix my own problems. And I wanted, you know, there were so many people wanting to help me fix my problems. But God said, wait on me. Depend on me. And I'm going to fix it. So I want to tell you today, don't try to fix your problems. Just give it to God. You know, sometimes we could go out and we could fix our problems and be successful with that. But if God has called you in a season of depending on God, you best believe he's going to show up. You best believe that he's not going to leave you on the side of the road high and dry, because my God owns the cattle of the 1,000 hills up there. And right before all this happened, I was getting ready for church, and God said, I'm calling a season. Never did I dream that what God prophesied to me, what he told me, was for me. He said, it's going to be a God did it season. He said, there's going to be situations that are completely dead and completely hopeless. And I was praying for the needs of everybody around me. And all of a sudden in my ear, I started hearing people put their hand up and saying, God did it. God did it. God did it. And I heard multiple voices of people saying, God did it. Well, I'm here to tell you, I'm the first one here to say, God did it. It was impossible, but my God did it. Just wait, because God's on the way. It might be the last 30 minutes coming to it, but in the blink, I'm just telling you, I'm not trying to ramble, but I want to tell you today, what God showed me, I never dreamed that it was for me, but it's a God did it type of season that we're in. And I want to tell you that God got the ball rolling with me. He gave me that vision of a God did it type of season. God already did it for me, and I believe today that God is going to do it for you. Whatever, like I said, you've come through the faith, you come through the trust, and now you're in a season of dependency. Depend on him. You can lean on him today. And I've told my friends before, and God showed it to me himself. He says, is it so wrong to be held in the master's arms and cradled when you're not strong enough? Because he's strong enough today to carry all your burdens, to provide all your needs, to give you all the provision and favor that you need. If he give you a vision, you better believe that he has the provision and the favor for you today. So depend upon him, because you could trust him with everything that you have today. Amen.